There are some individual games we all remember, whether it's Chris Judd's famous 5-goal effort at the Gabba against Brisbane, or Zach Butter's last year gathering 41 touches and 2 goals against Melbourne. Every star has to have an iconic breakout game where it all comes together and they dominate. We may have just seen that from the 2023 number 1 pick in one of the biggest games in Western Australia. 27 disposals and a goal against Richmond for Harley Reid got him that round's Rising Star nomination. But after watching the Derby, his round 6 game was even better and more impactful. He was by far the highest rated player on the field with 19 disposals, 13 of them contested, 7 clearances and 3 goals with a bunch of highlight plays. He played with an angry force, physically dropping Fremantle players throughout the game while still showing off his class and athleticism. It was the prototype powerful mid-forward game-breaking performance, echoing 3-time Norm Smith medalist Dustin Martin. No junk disposals and every touch looked to have maximum damage. Now we won't do this every game in his first year, but he's showing signs of greatness and giving the entire West Coast club swagger and energy they haven't had for a few seasons. Another young player who brought a similar level of confidence to their team was Nick Dacos. In 2022, mainly playing out of defence, we saw him dip below 20 disposals just 2 times in the 25 games he played. Up until round 18, he had only kicked 2 goals for the season, but was still critical in creating that wave run out of defence that we know is Collingwood's style of play under Craig McRae. But finally, his front half offensive output did come together at the Adelaide Oval against the Crows in round 18. They were under the pump, down 20-0 halfway through the first quarter, and it was Dacos who got the fire started for the Magpies, who were at the time equal 4th on the ladder. But Adelaide kept challenging and got out to 3-goal leads multiple times throughout the second half. The momentum in the last quarter was regained by Collingwood when Dacos was deployed in a roaming role forward of the ball. His back-to-back last quarter goals put Collingwood up by 9 points, and while Adelaide charged home late, Dacos and the Pies did just enough to hold on. He finished the day with 40 disposals, 5 inside 50s, 747 metres gained, and 3 important goals. The impact was massive, and the then 19-year-old asserted himself on the competition. Marcus Bontempelli was a few months away from turning 19 himself when the Western Bulldogs hosted Melbourne in round 15 of the 2014 season. At the time, both sides were in the middle of turning over their lists and each had only 4 wins from 13 games and were pretty much out of the finals hunt. The Bulldogs burst out of the gates and with 6 minutes left in the second quarter were leading 46-9. A bearded Max Gawn powered through the Demons' second goal and from that point on kicked another 3 goals unanswered. The tussle continued, but with a tick over 6 minutes left in the game, Jack Grimes gave Melbourne a 6-point advantage. Enter an 18-year-old Bontempelli. As a scrawny looking first year player, he snapped a great goal only 30 seconds later before kicking one of the best of his career and a 2014 finalist for the official Goal of the Year.
This time Minson, they all fell down. Frawley, will they concede behind here? They've done it again. Dangerous to do that. Frawley, Stevens waiting for Bontempelli, found a way out. That is an unbelievable effort from Bontempelli. If that doesn't get you off the couch at home, nothing will. What a goal! What a super...
He kicked the last 2 goals of the match and in just 5 minutes had shown his match-winning capabilities, all as a teenager. It's rare to see a breakout game in a grand final, but in hindsight 2011 was so important to Tom Hawkins. The then 23-year-old had shown his potential but like with most key position players, his consistency had become a frustration. 2009 saw him play 24 games for a return of 34 goals, and he looked like a future superstar. But 2010 saw him miss a portion of the season with a foot injury, and he barely averaged a goal per game, and struggled in that season's preliminary final loss. 2011 had more patchy form, and in 15 home and away season games, Hawkins kicked just 20 goals, including 5 games where he went goalless. His overall form did improve during the final series, and the climax of his performances was in that year's grand final. With James Podsiadly out, hurting his shoulder, the heavy lifting went to Hawkins. It was time for the big cat to take the number 1 forward mantle.
The big man Ottens, one hand, couldn't drag it down. They go after it. He gets up again, and then Hawkins does it again. Tommy Hawkins on the big stage kicks his third.
He was one of the best of field. He got 5 votes in the Norm Smith medal and collected 19 disposals, 9 marks, and kicked 3 important goals, all in the third quarter. The attention he got from his frustrating inconsistency was equally met with applause for his performance. It kick-started his career, and from 2012 onwards, he hasn't dropped below 46 goals in a season, winning a Coleman medal in 2020 and being named All-Australian 5 times. Christian Petrarca as we know him today is as powerful an athlete we have ever seen. It wasn't always like this. He did his ACL in his first season, while his first 4 years playing in the AFL saw him mainly feature up forward. He was still a good AFL player, but it always felt like the next season would be the one for him to break out as a top 10 player. Between 2016 and 2019, he polled a modest 5 Brownlow votes. Finally in 2020, at 24 years old, with a big pre-season under his belt, we got the first glimpse of this version of Petrarca. He was now a full-time on-baller and began the season on fire, getting 3 votes in round 2 and round 6. We skip a week later to round 7 against Hawthorn. In the shortened game time, Petrarca finally put his explosiveness on display for all 4 quarters. He had 29 disposals, 16 contested, 4 clearances, 14 score involvements, 3 direct goal assists, and a goal for himself. His 160 ranking points was at the time by far his career high, and it was becoming clearer as the season went on that this was no fluke. His fitness had finally matched his ability, and from round 7 he polled 14 of his 20 Brownlow votes in 2020.